races at the professional level of world cycling. You may remember when Greg LeMond won the world title in Chambéry, Konishev was up there too. 2 kilometers to go. And it's Konishev who made the breakaway and seems to be left to be doing most of the work. Claudio Chiappucci, who is the Mercatoni Uno rider, at the back of that line. Della Santa, the Mapai team, is the other rider. And look at this, they're right on them now, and they're gambling. Konishev has got himself into second place, which is where he wants to be. Stefano Della Santa is leading up towards the lines. It's a very slight incline this, but the field are coming down very, very quickly behind them. Very, very quickly indeed, but Konishev has gone. Della Santa almost sat up but thought it's worth going again. He gets second, but Konishev gets the victory. Della Santa is second, Giapponi is third, and almost a collision there on the line. And that was the fast-finishing Maurizio Fondriest, but it wasn't fast enough to beat Dmitry Konishev. The effort showing on his face, and he gets the stage victory in the Giro d'Italia. There's no doubt who the happy man is so far, though. Moreno Argentin is keeping his lead, everything working out just fine for him. Konishev winning the stage by 2 seconds. Giapponi was third, Fondriest was fourth, Luc Leblanc fifth. Giorgio Furlan, who attacked, he finished in fifth place. Still that 26 seconds margin to Ugrumov, 35 seconds to Fondriest for Moreno Argentin. So to the sixth stage, 130 kilometers. The riders now from Villafranca Terina to Messina. We're heading now down towards the bottom end of the boot of Italy before we nip across onto the Isles of Sicily. And this is a very, very beautiful place, as is all of the places down in the far south of Italy, as we go into now the Sicilian influence of the country. And of the 180 riders who set off from Porto Azzurro at the start of the Giro, 171 are still surviving here on the stage that bring them to Messina. 3 days they're facing now on the beautiful island of Sicily. And to get between the towns, well, if you're a member of the Festina team registered in Andorra, the one of the smallest principalities in Europe, then you really can travel in style. This is the biggest team this year because Andorra, being so small, have had to take on many amateur riders so they could invite the top foreign riders onto the squad because of international rulings. Their best man is the Dutchman, Steven Rooks, the first man to win the King of the Mountains title in the Tour de France for Holland. And other riders like Eric van Lanker, sitting down there, who's from Belgium. And the leader of the team here, by the way, is Jos van Aert. And so the team here more or less for training for the upcoming Tour de France, and have yet to distinguish themselves in this year's Giro. Maybe they're enjoying the comfort a little bit too much. 130 kilometers on the menu, the small town of Villafranca Terina, as they race across to Messina as the crow flies. They're very close together, but not the way the riders are going today, and the conditions are extremely hot in the far south here. Temperatures expected to soar over 100 degrees, and it won't be to the liking of a lot of the riders. And this is Zenon Jaskula from Poland. Fourth year now as a professional, turned professional rather late because until recent years, of course, the Eastern Bloc nations weren't allowed to turn professional. Luc Leblanc out on the attacks again, 18 seconds the gap. Not surprisingly, Mercatoni Uno are trying to keep this race together. That's Leali in the front there, Bruno Leali. And it looks as though they have an interest in bringing Zenon Jaskula back into the field here. The other rider with Jaskula, I think, is Tonkov, Harold Tonkov, but he's back in the field as well. As the Mercatoni Uno riders sweep by. Reputations mean nothing here. The big professional teams know what their aims are in the Giro, and their aim is to get Baffi up there for the stage win into the last kilometre. Now let's see if they can, but this is the big figure to Guido Bontempi here, who once picked up 5 stage wins straight in the Tour of Italy in 1986, and he's going to hold it. Bontempi, despite his 33 years of age, gets it on the line, and Baffi was pipped there. Let's have a look at that again. That's Baffi coming on the shoulder there of Guido Bontempi. But Bontempi made it by half a length. And he gets the victory over Baffi. Bugno getting third, Girotto fourth, Konishev in the hunt again in fifth place this time. Overall, the first day out on the island, no changes. Argentin winning, rather leading by 26 seconds from Ugrumov, Fondriest in third place. Second day on the island and the 7th stage of the race, 242 kilometres. Couple of climbs taking the riders up to just under 1,000 metres. And if you enjoy fish, well, there's no finer place to come than to Sicily. And this swordfish here is just about to lose his head. The history of this fascinating island, when it stretches back 2,800 years, settled originally by the Greeks, but it's known plenty of rulers since then. The Normans, the Germans, the French, the Spanish, and the Neapolitans, they've all had their share. But it's a stunning place. The sunset in the Valley of the Temples probably is one of the most magical places in the world. You can feel the history seeping out, and thank heavens Italy protects all of its temples, and there are plenty of them. Great reminders of the past. They've overseen many things, of course, and it's one of the most famous stopping off points for the Giro d'Italia, a race which goes back to the turn of the century and has been won largely by Italian riders. In fact, only 13 non-Italians, by the way, have won the Giro d'Italia. And Miguel Indurain trying to alter that again this time out. Won it for the first time for Spain last year. Garibaldi began his drive to unite a modern Italy here, by the way, in 1860. And Mount Etna, not too far away, is Europe's highest active volcano. Let's hope it chooses to stay quiet for the next couple of days. So the riders now facing up the ride from Capodolando to Agrigento. And Greg LeMond riding a very, very quiet tour at the moment, but he's only 34 minutes. I know it sounds a lot, but 34 minutes off the lead, but it's a lot of time to have lost on what have been so far comparatively easy stages. The sprinters fighting out the finishes, and the man in the lead is Moreno Argentin. But right now we've got two riders out in front. This is the champion of Denmark, Bjarne Riis, up here at the front, and the rider who's come along with him for more than the ride is Coppolino. The rider's on the attack earlier on, Micheli, and Perini is up here as well. Well, Perini had a marvellous Tour de France last year, and he hopes he'll get in this year. It depends on a good ride, really, in the Tour of Italy for his team, because they'll be on a wild card selection, and he'll be conscious of that. Rider grabbing a drink here, as all of the riders are, is Da Silva, once leader of the Tour de France in Luxembourg. That was the year that we had the great problem with the man who forgot to go to the start house in time, Pedro Delgado, in the time trial at Luxembourg. There's Perini rather. And it seems to be a case of just give us a drink today, because temperature's up to 105 degrees. It is dry, it is very, very hot, and a lot of the riders simply can't race at the back of the field. They're just following along in the big bunch. And this is a very active little breakaway, taking advantage of it. And Coppolino is in trouble here, and they probably welcome that water, because Bjarne Riis has launched a great attack at the front. I think he's got rid of Perini. Here's the main field. 4 minutes 25 seconds. None of these riders really affecting at the moment the overall situation of the race. Very arid countryside. They're regrouped. They've answered the attack of Bjarne Riis on the Ariostia team, along with Argentin last year, but now Argentin has gone. It does seem that Bjarne Riis has been given his head a little bit more to ride his own sort of races rather than be a super domestique in helping Argentin win his races. Perini quite clearly anxious to keep this race away. He wants the ZG team in the Tour de France, and a wild card shot is still a possibility. Well, 300 metres out to go, and Perini's gone early. He's not a great sprinter, and this would be Coppolino's best ever result here, but the man to watch out for is surely Bjarne Riis, who can deliver a good blow, and Riis comes now, and he comes very, very smoothly. No trouble at all for the champion of Denmark. He gets the stage win very easily from Coppolino, but the man who was worried about the weather, Andy Hampsten.
Yeah, it was a sticker. We were looking at the scenery a little bit, but I tell you just can't race 3 weeks in conditions like this. It picked up quite a bit, you know, in the middle and towards the end, but it was hard.
And so the riders overall was a win for Bjarne Riis. Coppolino was second, Perini was third, but the main field coming in a minute 21 seconds back, and as a result no change at all overall amongst the top 7 men. Eighth stage now, 140 kilometres, Agrigento to Palermo, the last day on the island, and one or two riders now will be glad to leave this island. The sun is simply a little bit too hot.
The heat kills you though, you know. Every day gets worse and worse, you know. Like nobody can attack in that kind of weather. Like it's like the Sicilian people themselves don't work between 10 and 4, whereas the race in that weather, you know.
And here's one man who's done that in the past, one of the legends of Italian cycling, Gino Bartali. 4 times the Italian champion, 3 times the winner of the Giro, 4 times second in the Giro, and twice the winner of the Tour de France. The amazing thing was he won the national title in 1935. He won it again in 1952. And along with Fausto Coppi here, they had some great battles. So there are 3 top names in Italian cycle. The other one, of course, is Ercole Baldini. And now, of course, the names we talk about, Argentine, Bugno, Chiappucci and Fondriest in this year's Giro d'Italia. This is Palermo, where the riders are now heading on the stage of 140 kilometres. And when they get here, again, the temperature is up. It's just on 100 degrees. They will then say goodbye and fly away from the island of Sicily, and I don't think they'll be too sorry. The breakaway formed today by Mario Chiesa. He's gone clear. And he's built himself a lead of 30 seconds over the group, which still contains Moreno, Argentine, and the rest of the men that matter in this year's Giro d'Italia. And this looks like Stefano Collier. Indeed it is. 66th overall in the race so far, as you can see by the little pink 66 there. Stefano Collier, an underrated rider who is steadily developing well in Italian cycling, always willing to have a go. Racing now through the parched countryside here of Sicily as we head off towards Palermo. It's on the northern coastline of the island, probably the best known, before the riders leapfrog away and up to Rome, where the race will recommence tomorrow. Well, Collier has been picked up, and again it is the Mercatoni Uno team of Adriano Baffi who has brought the race right down again. But they've still got to pack up Mario Chiesa. He's a rider who's been seen in the Tour du Pont, for example, in the United States. He doesn't speak any English, but he certainly enjoys racing in America. But the dream is over. Mario Chiesa has been swept up by the field, and once again the big bunch has come together, and the Mercatoni Uno team have got control at the front. They come down towards the finish now in Palermo. And in fact, the MG boys have got themselves company at the front now. And this is going to be the sprint between Baldato and Baffi by the look of it, the way they're lining up for the finish here. And looking desperately to see where Baldato is. Both Baldato and Baffi have won a stage already. And this is going to be a great battle for the line now. As they come up towards the finish, the sprinters are now taking control. In fact, Baffi is about 5 men down in the line at the moment. He's going to have to burst out of that. He's the rider in the mauve-coloured points jersey. And now here comes Baffi. Leone is also here, and Baldato. This is going to be a very close finish. This is Endrio Leone who's leading it out for the line now. But there comes Baffi coming up on the outside. Baldato is with him. As they come right on the line, Baffi takes it. Leone held on there for second place, and Baldato had to be content with third. So the second stage win of the race for Adriano Baffi, with Leone there in second place and all of the riders given the same time. Consequently, no change overall at all. Argentine still very much the leader of the Giro d'Italia. The riders now facing up to a plain journey which will take them just to the outskirts of Rome for the resumption of the race. And for the mechanics and all of the followers, they face a 12-hour boat journey from Palermo to Naples before they will arrive on the outskirts of Rome. And it's very close to here where the riders spend their only rest day of this year's Giro d'Italia. Well, you know what they say, all roads lead to Rome. And it's no exaggeration, the Romans invented the superhighways and they still exist under the layers of modern paving today. This is the famous Fountain de Trevi, where the tourists come and throw 2 coins over the shoulder, one to return to Rome and the other to make a wish. It really is a city for the romantics, and under the old Roman Empire, all of these old buildings were once faced with marble. Like everything else these days, they are always in evidence around about. A modern motor car, perhaps taking a little bit of the beauty away from the most visited site in Italy, the Colosseum. built in 80 AD and once held 50,000 fans for the contests of the lions and the gladiators. And the route today, the riders in fact heading across the route of stage 2 as they head away from Montelibreti to Fabriano, 219 kilometres on this 9th day. It goes in a northeasterly direction. Gianni Bugno in the World Championship jersey there, but the early attacker, Francesco Cabello from the Kelmer team, 24 years of age and 100th overall in the Giro d'Italia. Well, he got away 25 kilometres after the start this morning, and that's his lead at the moment, 9 minutes and 15 seconds. Well, you've always got to have the great adventurers in every stage race, and if you don't stick your nose out front, well, you'll never win a stage of any big race. Cabello now trying to build the lead in the bunch. Well, a little bit cooler the conditions, although the sun is still shining. Argentine there, happy in the Maglia Rosa, and keeping right up on the overall classification with his team. Not too far away, but you see it's Baffi's team all of the time who are setting the pace, but the one man who could spoil the party is here, Francesco Cabello. 33 kilometres to go and in the lead since the first 25 kilometres this morning, but he is slowing down. And the pace has picked up quite a lot now. And Gianni Bugno riding very close to the front today. He's been in the first 6 or 7 riders all of the time. He really does need to show his colours sooner or later because he's not having a great tour at all. And this is one of the small climbs on the stage today. The Dolomites coming nearer now day by day. And of course so too is the first really big individual time trial. And Argentine is very, very conscious of that, knowing the ability of Miguel Indurain. Again, the stunning countryside here now as we head up towards the northeast corner of Italy. And the pack still together, but it's all over. It's been a long, long breakaway. We're about 13 kilometres from the finish, and that would make the breakaway there of Cabello 181 kilometres in the lead. Chiesa now going clear again. Well, 6 kilometres, 5.8 to be precise, and in fact Mario Chiesa, who has attacked and attacked and attacked with absolutely no reward, nothing to show for it, he's gone again. Looks as though we've got 2 Austria riders going here. One is Giorgio Furlan. I think the little rider there was David Cassani, who is a good climber. There's Chiesa, 97th overall, 27 years of age. Giorgio Furlan chasing him down, a much higher prospect in the overall situation. Giorgio Furlan here won the Flèche Wallonne and the Tour of Switzerland last year. Finished 19th overall in this Giro and also won himself a stage. And he's yet to do that. He's tried once and failed. He's come up alongside Mario Chiesa now. So we've got 2 riders together. And the gap not very much at all, although the kilometres to go are closing down all of the time. But once again, the whole field here looking likely now to contest the finish. Chiesa and Giorgio Furlan, well, they're absolutely at the full effort here. A little look across there from Chiesa just to see what Giorgio Furlan was looking like, but it looks as though Chiesa's still got plenty left in him, but the field are closing down very, very quickly now as we come up towards the line. There's nothing in it here. The other rider who's got onto the back there is Enrico Zaina from the Mercatoni Uno team. That's rather blunted the attack for the sprinter Baffi. He's on the same team, but Zaina's tailed off. And Giorgio Furlan is going. I don't think Chiesa will handle him. Well, he's tried and tried, Mario Chiesa, and it looks like he's going to be pipped, but second place is better than most results he's been getting. He's lost it in second place. Giorgio Furlan gets what is really his annual stage win here in the Giro d'Italia, and Zaina takes 3rd place. So Giorgio Furlan, Austria, former teammate of the race leader, Marino Argentine, he gets the stage win ahead of Chiesa. Zaina Manzoni, who's riding very well on the flat stages here, he's 4th, and Baldato is 5th. Argentino keeps his 26 seconds over Ugrumov, Fondriest 3rd, Bugno 4th, Indurain 5th, and so the riders now coming to the 10th stage, the 28 kilometres time trial, and those seconds now should open up. It's only a question of which way will it be. Well, this is the place where the holidaymakers flood with its beautiful beaches here. And plenty of water sports. There'll be plenty of sport out on the open road today as the riders ride the race of truth. Miguel Indurain plotted his course to victory in the Giro d'Italia last year when he became the first Spanish winner by winning the time trials. He'd be very conscious of the fact that he was beaten, in fact, by Fondrest in the first one. This is Francesco Moser, world hour record holder. Moser 51.151. And Francesco Moser, well, like Fausto Coppi and Baldini, Felice Gimondi, is one of the cycling greats. He still holds the world hour record, by the way. And he's also a previous winner of the Giro d'Italia. And that was in 1984. This is when he set the world hour record, though, on the 23rd of January 1984, when Moser did 51.151 kilometres. Well, that hour record will be under attack this year during the Tour de France by two British riders, while we now go back to the time trial here at Senigalia. Andy Hampsten, one of the early starters, and the time to beat, well, it's slipping away. At the time he comes in, he's 9th best time. Armand de las Cuevas, who rides on the Banesto team of Indurain, a very underrated rider and a very, very good time trialist. He got closest to Indurain last year in the time trial, the big time trial that opened the time trial section of the Tour de France, when he lost only 3 minutes to Indurain, but he finished second. De las Cuevas now should go top of the leaderboard if he's riding on form. Out on the course, the time checks are indicating he's the quickest. Stephen Roach, the winner of the Tour in 1987. Last couple of deep breaths and away. Roach is still enjoying a very good Tour of Italy and still has the possibility of a high finish if he comes to the Dolomites well. And here's De las Cuevas coming up. There's the time to beat, and he's well inside Jascula's time as he comes in, 36.08, a 35-second beating. He's top of the leaderboard. Claudio Chiappucci, 10th overall at the moment. Knows that if ending his handicap is the time trial, but you can see the crowd will help him if they can. Claudio Chiappucci must produce a good time trial to stay in the hunt here. This is Roach coming home, but he's slipping away. But it's not a bad time for Stephen, top 10 at the moment. Out on the course with Chiappucci, and now his time is good, very, very good indeed. Chiappucci has pulled off a very special ride here. He stayed very close to De las Cuevas. Out on the course, 3rd best time at the minute. And now the start of the man that everybody fears, Miguel Indurain. They all say it's not a question of will he win, it's always a question of by how much will he win. Now the time check out on the circuit, 22.19, and he's well clear, 21.45 for Miguel Indurain. Now Chiappucci coming up to the finish. It's been a good ride by Claudio Chiappucci. Jascula is still in 3rd place, and that's the challenge from Claudio Chiappucci. Jascula is a very, very good time trialist, indicating a good ride here by Claudio Chiappucci. He'll get 3rd best so far, 36 minutes, 30.5. And when he recovers, I think he'll be very, very pleased with that performance. It will keep him in the hunt in the Giro d'Italia this year. Gianni Bugno, 4th overall. And even on this slight climb here, he doesn't look as though he's riding as smoothly as he can. Look at the contrast here now as Indurain starts to pick off the riders who started in front of him. And Miguel Indurain is never more in his element than when he's riding at these sort of speeds on the flat roads. He's passing Massimiliano Lelli there of the Ariostia team. And down on the seaside, it looks as though Indurain really is in full cry. Now, is he registering here the foundation of his 2nd Giro d'Italia? As Indurain comes up to the finish, De las Cuevas, his teammate, is the man who still holds the leading position. But look at the time of Miguel Indurain. He is going to annihilate De las Cuevas' time, that's for sure. So Miguel Indurain has come back to form. He's ridden the way he always rides the big tours, stays hidden in the bunch until he strikes in the time trial. And here at Senigalia, he's doing just that. It'll be best time when he arrives. 35.16.1, a massive 52 seconds improvement over De las Cuevas. Well, he's Maurizio Fondriest. He pulled the surprise right out at the start at Portoferreo when he won the time trial, but it's not indicating on the time boards there he's going to do it now as the time trials get that little bit longer. And neither for Gianni Bugno. He's gone outside of Stephen Roach's time now. Roach in 12th place, and that's gone. And now he's moving down the lines. He hits the line now. 14th best for Gianni Bugno, and I think, you know, his Tour of Italy has ended just there. Now the pink jersey has the Maglia Rosa worked wonders on the shoulders here of Moreno Argentine. He's riding high. He's never been a great time trial rider. He's been more a roadman sprinter. He's up in 6th place at the time check there. This is Fondriest. And Maurizio Fondriest now heading down towards the finish. And I don't think we're going to see the surprise. In fact, the longer distance hasn't suited Maurizio. De las Cuevas is the time he's aiming for, but that's going to go by the board about now. Gelfi is the next rider in 3rd place as Fondriest arrives to claim 3rd place. 57 seconds, though, slower than Miguel Indurain. The pink jersey out on the course. Fighting now to hold on to this jersey, but I can't see it. Fondriest, and the times are counting down as Argentine comes to the line. He's lost the lead, 36.16, the 4th best time even so for Argentine. That'll keep him high up in the overall, but it won't be in pink anymore. He's conceded a round minute to the new leader of the Giro d'Italia, Indurain. Argentine finishes 4th. Gelfi comes in there with the surprise 5th place, but again Miguel Indurain has claimed the lead after a time trial. Torriani there, the organiser of the race, applauding this wonderful man, Miguel Indurain, now the leader of the Giro by 22 seconds from Argentine, who really rode well to hold that place. Ugrumov has dropped down into 3rd slot. So the riders now facing up to their 11th stage, 184 kilometres. You can't get it much flatter than this, can you? And the riders will be very pleased about that. But the weather has changed indeed. Just look at this. Totally miserable conditions, and now would they like to be back on the island of Sicily with temperatures at 105 degrees. The riders are now in very, very miserable conditions indeed. It's the lot of a tour rider. I'm afraid you keep on going, whatever the weather will do to you. A small group always willing to attack has got 3 minutes and 40 seconds. And Fontanelli is one of the riders in this leading group. Over 4¼ hours in this terrible conditions here. And that's Fontanelli with Tibaldi on the far side, and Bottaro nearest the camera. The 3 riders who've got the lead here. None of them are going to affect the overall lead, though, at the moment. As they come up towards the finish here now, it's going to be a thoroughly miserable stage for them. And Fontanelli is the rider who's making the plunge for home, and the Navigar rider. And Tibaldi is on the far right of our picture. Now he's switched over. Well, he's still on the right. So the sprint comes now from Fontanelli and Bottaro. Fontanelli is the rider who's going for it and looks as though he's going to get it. It's been terrifically heavy rain all day, but Fontanelli will still be a very, very happy man. His stage win in the Tour of Italy after 4 hours and 17 minutes in the saddle. But this is a stage with the bunch coming in just about 6 seconds behind. The pink jersey now of Miguel Indurain. That's a fitting name right now too, isn't it? And Indurain really not too keen, but 3 minutes and 29 seconds down, and there could well be a new pink jersey because Bruno Leali was in between that group. And in fact, Fontanelli gets the stage, and Bottari, Tibaldi and Manzoni again getting another 4th place. But there's a new leader tonight, and it really is a surprise. Bruno Leali gets the greatest moment of his career as he pulls on the pink jersey. He was in the chase group. He's got the lead by just 6 seconds ahead of Indurain, and Indurain has conceded the lead that nobody really expected him to do that. Indeed not, and 6 seconds isn't a lot now. 236 kilometres, this 12th stage from Doza, taking the riders to Asiago with just one climb coming towards the end at Fontanella. And like all of the towns, they always celebrate the passage of the Giro d'Italia. And there are many great veteran cyclists here who just love riding the bike. It's a fabulous country to go cycling in, and there's no guesses for which window that team is supported. Happy days for Bruno Leali this morning. Maurizio Fondriest having to put up with the thought that a rival Italian has won the pink jersey away from Miguel Indurain. One man would like to do just that, no doubt, was Gianni Bugno. So the field facing a long stage today, with the only real threat coming at the end. a second category climb which will lift the riders up to the finishing line. It could be a chance for somebody like Indurain to get his 6 seconds back and reclaim it, and that could be why Armand de las Cuevas has started the attacks today to try and draw the string out of Leali's team and make them work to chase him down. This is Franco Coccioli, former winner of the Giro d'Italia, and Claudio Chiappucci. So the riders now beginning to relish the thought of approaching the Dolomites. Still a couple of days away. Indurain is sitting there in number 2 order.